when my brother and I were students. He was studying law, I was studying Chinese, and we would go to sort of parties of my parents and their friends, and people would say, "Oh, and what are you doing?" And he'd say, "I'm doing law, I'm doing Chinese." And then they would just ignore my brother completely, never say another word to him, because people were just fascinated by China. My name's Frances Wood, and I started studying Chinese in 1967 in the University of Cambridge, when it was a very rare thing for people to do. The language kind of drew me in, and I felt that it was a wonderful way to understand more about Chinese culture. And when I left university, I was lucky enough to go on a tour to China in 1971, so I'd had a bit of an idea of what it was like. And then I went to work in the library of the School of Oriental and African Studies in the Chinese section, but I took a year off to go and try and improve my spoken Chinese in Peking, 1975 to 1976, first at the Languages Institute and then at Peking University, which was enormous fun. I came back, and then soon after I moved to the British Library Chinese section, where I looked after the Chinese book collection, and which included the amazing collection of manuscripts from Dunhuang. The most obvious and wonderful conservation project was to make the Diamond Sutra in better shape. The Diamond Sutra, the world's earliest dated printed book, and it was in pretty poor condition by the time I saw it. By that time I was in charge, and the library was not prepared to spend much money. So I had to spend 30 years looking for money, and we got enough money to bring Chinese conservators over to the library to help us. And it is amazing that the Diamond Sutra is now in beautiful condition, and it's just as it was in the town. So what meant a lot to me was getting the material accessible for people in China. It's very important, obviously, to the history of Chinese culture and Chinese technology, and one wants Chinese people to see it. Quite soon after I started working, I started writing books about China, and I was encouraged by the fact that people were interested. I've been fairly lucky and reasonably successful in that people are very nice about my books, and I enjoy writing them, and I shall carry on writing them, I hope. And I do little bits of teaching as well about China, lecturing, often about the Dunhuang manuscripts, which have been really the focus of my life for the last, well, when I was working, for the last 30 years. So it's very important to feed that fascination, to tell people about Chinese history and Chinese culture, because it is terribly interesting, and it's, you know, in a world where we have more communication with each other, it's very important for people to understand it.